Hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here on Red Jackson's Instagram channel. Thank you for having this interview, and I hope you enjoy the Instagram channel of Red Jackson. Great things to see. My name is Danny Oliver. I'm an international Michael Jackson tribute artist, and I travel the world doing shows in humble, loving, loyal, and admirable tribute to Michael, the visionary genius, the greatest entertainer of all time. And let's get started. I have always loved Michael since before I can remember, really. For as long as I can remember, I've been watching Michael on videotape and studying him, really. And I've been doing shows. I would start at home and then doing school talent shows and then various talent shows up and down the UK. I started performing internationally since I was 9, and I've been doing it as paid work since I was 14. My first paid shows were with Madame Tussauds Rock Circus in the West End of London, and I would do school Monday to Friday, and then Friday to Sundays I would do shows for Madame Tussauds Rock Circus, helping to draw in the crowds and entertaining people while they were queuing between the different sections of the museum. My least favourite song to perform and why? I've never ever been asked that before. I've always been asked what is my favourite song to perform and why. That's a really difficult question to answer because I really don't have a least favourite. Because obviously, of course, I love doing all of Michael's songs. Let me try and think off the top of my head if I had to choose one. Oh boy. Oh man, I really don't know. Maybe. Oh goodness. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe the J5 medley, even though I don't not like doing it. I love doing it, but if I had to choose one that was my least favorite, I mean, it's a great one. I usually do it midway through the show, and it really gets people up. It sets up a new vibe, for the show. But yeah, so on to the next question. The most challenging move to perform. Again, another very, very interesting question. Very well thought out. I've never been asked that before. It's a difficult question to answer because, not to sound arrogant or anything like that, but nothing is really challenging because I'm not really thinking about it, because you're just kind of in the zone, and you kind of let the music and the emotion of what that sound is, and the spirit of Michael dictate exactly what is going on. Perhaps I could think of like the most challenging move to learn, I guess. So maybe the most challenging moves that I've tried to teach myself, because everything is self-taught. I've never been taught by anyone, or I've never been to a dance class or anything like that. So I guess if I change your question into the most challenging move to learn and teach myself, maybe various types of robotics, But then again, it depends what kind of mood I'm in. Yeah, maybe some of the robot stuff. It's another good question. The highs and lows of being a Michael tribute artist. Well, really, there's always highs. I guess generally not so much as a Michael tribute artist, but sometimes you can be tired or you can be more into it. More so one show than the other. So other shows you'll be a little tired, a little less kind of in the zone. And that just comes with, it's kind of like when you wake up one day, you'll feel great, and you get out of bed the next day, and for no apparent reason, you'll just feel less energetic. Every audience is different. Sometimes you can feel not so great before a show, and you get a great audience, and the energy, transcends between yourself and the audience, and it's really electric, so that can really help motivate you. But, I guess, like last year, when the false and ridiculous claims against Michael came out with that ridiculous fabricated film, there were only a very few hecklers would shout stuff out. But majority of people were like really, really supportive and enthusiastic. But when there were hecklers, I would call them out on the microphone and just embarrass them. So, I have no problem with that because it's no challenge for me. I'm happy to embarrass them. I refuse to let anyone make me feel uncomfortable when I'm there to entertain and perform. So the first time I got invited to Neverland, so every time I went, I was very blessed. It's not like I won a competition or anything. Michael, he invited me personally to Neverland. And the very first time I went, myself and a few friends, we were outside the ranch. And by this point, familiarity between myself and Michael had already built up over the past 4 years previously. And, he had already started to call me by my first name when he would see me from place to place. And Michael had come out of the ranch. There were a few other fans there, and they all drove off to follow him, right? So I said to my friend, listen, we don't know our way around this local area, so let's just play it smart, kick back, and maybe he'll come back. We're here on our own, and who knows? And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. It turns out Michael had gone out to take Prince to the dentist. And so upon his return, he pulled up in his black Bentley, and he wound down the window, and he invited me in. And come on, you gotta come in, come on. And I remember when he drove by, I was deliberately holding out my anti-Bashir jacket, which would later go on to become very well known, and Michael would own and wear himself. But I deliberately held it out to make him aware of it, and so he did see me walking around the ranch on various occasions wearing it. So he had become aware of it, and obviously he loved it very much. It's cool too because I was the last person to visit the ranch with me and my friends who were with me. We were the last people to visit the ranch before Michael's 45th birthday, and then we were the first people back in to visit the ranch on Michael's birthday after he had turned 45. So that was great. That was in August 2003. And it was great because I have friends that worked there. We had a quote-unquote unsupervised visit, meaning our visit wasn't restricted, and we were able to go all around and stuff. So usually when people have visits there, it's kind of regimented. At the end of the day, you're in somebody else's home. It's very formal, and it's very supervised. One of the first things that we did is we went on the Dodgems, like the bumper cars and stuff, and it was just truly the most beautiful, magical place in all the world. I always said, if the rest of the world was anything close to what Neverland is like, then what a happier world we'd all live in. It was truly magical and beautiful. I always describe it as kind of like walking through inside Michael's imagination, because he had brought all that to life based on his imagination and the childhood that he had missed out on and things that he had so craved for and wanted to compensate. Another interesting thing to mention about Neverland, and of course there are many, and I could go on for hours about the times that I had there and everything, but another cool thing to mention is that in Neverland, all year round, Michael had Christmas decorations up all around the theatre lobby, and I think this is a reflection of, Michael kind of compensating for all the Christmases that he missed out on while growing up, I remember that very well. So performing for Michael, of course, was one of the greatest honors of my life ever by far. And, everyone always assumes that, I'd be really nervous and everything. But honestly, to tell you the truth, I've never been more relaxed and more comfortable performing in front of anyone than Michael. Because, number one, it was my opportunity to really kind of go nuts and show him, what I had to give at the time, and also because I knew that, anything and everything I did, he would totally understand it. Like it was in it's his game, right? So, you know, it wasn't like foreign territory to him. So that made me feel really comfortable. But performing for him, of course, was a tremendous honor. I was the only person that performed for him twice, in London and in New York, within a 2-week period. And Michael had come up to me and he called me by my name, and every time he went out of his way to express his compliments and admiration for my performance, which was just incredible. I remember one time he said to me, "You're wicked." And I thought, huh? Do Americans say wicked? I thought that was like an English expression, you know. On top of the fact that I was just so overwhelmed and knocked out by the fact that he just complimented me like that. So I said, "Michael, sorry, what did you say?" He said, "I thought you were awesome. You were great. I loved you so much." So designing the jackets for Michael was just really something, you know how they say about universal energy, and, you know, you visualize things to you know, bring them to fruition and to breathe life into them. And that's really what happened. I mean, initially there was the Filthy Tabloid Press jacket, and that was a few years earlier, between like 1999 and 2001. And Michael Bush had told me that Michael had he wanted 500 replicas made, but Michael Bush, I think, made like 3 replicas. So then a few years later, when I came to do what came to be known as the anti-Bashir jacket, initially it was Sony that was in the censored sign in the back center of the jacket, and I was, because of all the troubles Michael was having with Sony Music, and I was sitting in bed. I still have the original design somewhere. I was sitting in my bed late at night under my covers, and I was drawing this design out, and I literally was doing it, and while I was drawing it, I was envisioning like a big uproar in the media, and, you know, a very kind of publicized response by the media, and that Michael would love it. And I even visualized like going around Neverland, and exactly as I saw, literally it happened. It's really amazing stuff. So then Michael actually wearing the jacket, I mean, I gave him the Filthy Tabloid Press one in London, and then he wore it again in various locations, including a visit to a friend's house in Vienna in Austria. But with the Filthy Tabloid Press one, that happened in Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. And yeah, Michael and I were talking at his limo, and he really made a point of, you know, getting to me and us speaking. And when I told him exactly what the jacket has said, he just roared hysterically with laughter. I remember very well. He laughed so hard, he was tilting his head back, and I could see the roof of his mouth while he was laughing. Oh man, I love it. And Michael Bush had told me that Michael had worn my jacket every morning before going to court during the trial. He told me that it was the very last thing Michael would wear before they got him changed to go to court. And that Michael Bush had got a phone call from Michael about a jacket that he had that needed a little bit of maintenance. So Michael Bush said, "Yeah, sure, just send it to me." And then a few days later, Michael Bush in the mail received my jacket. So Michael loved my jacket that much that when it needed maintenance, he got it fixed up. And I wasn't surprised too, because there were some diamantes that I had on the back, on the writing and the censored sign, and some of them had come a little bit loose, you know, because I wore it a lot before I gave it to Michael. Michael was an incredible human being. His height of spirituality was on another level, and effortlessly so. He had this incredible, many have quoted before, a quote-unquote godlike aura, and a sense of presence. People were just naturally drawn to him. It was magnetic, but it was completely natural, effortlessly so. Michael was completely humble, very sweet, kind, caring, very relaxed and down to earth, and loved to laugh. And so the first time I met Michael, I was 14, and it was because a friend of mine had a contact in Sony Music UK by the name of Jonathan Morris. And through him, we came to really communicate with Michael and come face to face with Michael. And it was in April of '99, so I was 14. It was a few months before my 15th birthday. And Michael came out with one security guy, Skipper, who was the brother of Wayne Nagin, who is the security guy that you'll see around with Michael, kind of particularly during the time of like the history tour and stuff like that. It was his brother Skipper that came out with Michael. And it was down a back street, and it was just so relaxed, and it was like for a whole hour and a half, and it was just incredible. And I just never thought that would happen so soon. Under such circumstances, like I say, it was completely calm, relaxed. It was a whole hour and a half. It's not like he was quickly passing through, and I got to like shake his hand. It was just simply amazing. And I remember when I first spoke to him, I told him my name and how much I loved him, and that my parents had seen him perform since he was 10, and their view of seeing Michael perform as a child, and how, like my dad said, that he couldn't get over that he was watching this 10-year-old child perform, and how phenomenal he was, and that he sounded as incredible live as he did in the studio versions. And Michael was so humbled by that. He said, "Really? They said that about me? Honestly, they said that?" I just think any compliment that someone gave him, any kind of love and admiration someone gave him, he never took it for granted. He always embraced it as if it was the first time. He was incredibly humble. So at the moment, obviously, with everything regarding the pandemic and all the chaos caused by the coronavirus, everything is pretty much on hold. I mean, I have a few shows here and there, mainly private shows, but generally everything is on hold until next year because, of course, people are told they can't sing, they can't get up and dance. It can only be, like a whole venue can only have between 35 and 40 people. So it's very difficult, and us entertainers and performers, we've been put right at the back of the queue. So times are tough, but I count my blessings and taking each day as it comes, taking it one day at a time, and always remaining optimistic. And so right now, my future ambitions, as well as writing various projects, is really to just do bigger shows, and various theatre shows, and to expand the show, internationally. I'm doing more and more countries around the world. I did a lot more stuff in the Middle East last year, which I had done before, but I went to different areas of the Middle East at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. And so, just my ambition really is just to expand the show. And like I say, I'm writing, doing some original projects and compositions which I've done before with my wife, as she's a professional singer. She's the lead singer of a group that were very big in the late 90s and early 2000s called the Honeys, and they were actually the first ever British group, black British group to be signed to Def Jam Records in America. So we've written and composed and recorded a few things, but we've never released it publicly. So any advice and tips that I would have to someone who's pursuing to be a Michael tribute, it is really as simple and as honest, despite how cheesy it might sound. It's as simple and honest as follow your heart. Let your heart dictate to you exactly what you want to do. Have something to back up on, but don't have a plan B. Right, even though I say have something to back up on. And the reason why I say don't have a plan B in place is because if you have a plan B, you won't put so much energy into plan A. So make it your plan A. Go for your goals, follow your heart. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it or it's just a dream. Never listen to the naysayers, and be optimistic. Do what you love and enjoy it to the max, and always keep perspective. And always, maintain your sense of motivation and enthusiasm and passion. Well, thanks so much, Red Jackson, for conducting this interview with me on your channel. It's been a lot of fun. And everybody, you can see more of me on Twitter or Instagram at Danny MJ Oliver, or on Facebook. You can go like my page, Danny Oliver, Michael Jackson Tribute, MJ Eternity. I look forward to seeing you all in the not too distant future. And for those of you that haven't already seen it or are not already aware, go onto Amazon Prime and go view their #1 documentary on Amazon in the US, UK, and Canada, which is Square One, for some actual truth on Michael Jackson based on concrete, factual evidence. Anyway, lots of love, blessings. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.